Zion Williamson has his best game of the season, Joel Embiid continues his MVP run, and Bradley Beal passes Michael Jordan for a modern-day record. And I'm not really even forcing this MJ stat. Aggregate that, please. Hey, I'm Tas Mellis. It was a 10-game night in the association. This is what you need to know for Thursday, February 4th. But I'm going to start in Sacramento, where the young Kings are ready to break some hearts again. You know what I'm talking about, Kings fans. They have broken your hearts oh so many times. Are you ready to do it again? Are you ready to be vulnerable? Let them in. Let them in so they can shatter your hearts, because De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Haliburton, they're taking you for a ride. They've now won 5 in 6 after beating Boston on Wednesday night. And after the game, Celtics head coach Brad Stevens said Fox and Haliburton are a handful. That's what you want to hear. What you also want to hear is that they did it with defense. They grinded it out in the fourth quarter, while on the other side, De'Aaron Fox continued his fourth quarter heroics, doing it in spectacular fashion, scoring half of his game high 26 in the quarter. And Haliburton, Rookie of the Year candidate, officially Rookie Year of the Month. He's always in the right place at the right time. A great play to end the third quarter. Buddy Hield heaved it at the hoop. And Haliburton, smart move to pick up the offensive rebound and score. He had a great steal. He was just great all the time. 5 threes in this one for his 21 points. Now the Celtics played without ball handlers all over the place. Kemba Walker resting that knee. Marcus Smart and Peyton Pritchard are out. But let's not spoil it for Kings fans. That was a blast. Speaking of rest, just like Kemba Walker there, I thought the Wizards were going to lose again when Russell Westbrook made his standard sit on the second half of a back-to-back, while also looking like he was attending a barbecue with the bucket hat and long shorts. No Dunks has got to get their hands on those. This is not David Stern's dress code anymore. No, sir. But the Wizards fought back from a 13-point second half deficit. Bradley Beal had 32, and Miami only had 32 points the entire second half. As Tim Reynolds pointed out, the Heat missed 17 of their final 21 threes, went 1 of 9 from deep in the fourth, and lost a game where they led by 13 in the third, where Bradley Beal wasn't exactly hot in the second half. Jimmy Butler said after the game, "We've got to be who we say we are." Yeah, the Heat, their offense continues to struggle. Bradley Beal, his offense, not struggling. He has now scored 25-plus points in 17 consecutive games to begin the season, which passed Michael Jordan for the longest such streak to begin a year since the merger. Rick Barry was the last to do at least 17 games in 1966-67. Brad stays hot. Speaking of MJ records, forget it. I was going to start this Suns-Pelicans chat with a finely manicured Zion Williamson stat. One of those where you pick and you choose, which compares him to Michael Jordan. But even for me, it's too much. Can't do it. All you have to know is that Zion had his best game of the season as Nolans blew out Phoenix. He was so efficient on the offensive end, missing only 1 shot in each half, 28 points on 14 shots overall. Fantastic efficiency. And the exclamation point alley-oop with the offhand right in the fourth. Bam! But it was his defense that made it his best game of the year. He was extra bouncy. He's got that football player bounce, that waddle, that hop. Well, he was feeling it. He was all over the place defensively. Stan Van Gundy complimented him after the game, saying he covered so much ground on that end. He was a plus 37 on the night, and it showed on the floor. Philadelphia, Charlotte. Joel Embiid dominated with 34 points for Philly, and it was a fairly easy night for Embiid, but still, he is something to behold in the post when he's having a great one. They kept doubling him. Didn't matter, still found a way to score, still found a way to go to the line, and he stepped out and hit some threes at a high clip. And speaking of the post, saw a lot of Ben Simmons in the post in this one. Doc Rivers experimenting more with that, making him a passer from the post. It's tough to defend. All that said, my favorite play was LaMelo Ball in his second career start. He had an all right night on the floor, but the way he played this jump ball situation where he was little brother and put his hand on Shake Milton's shoulder to get an advantage, God, I love that. That was a blast. A team that Philly is holding off atop the Eastern Conference along with the Nets and the Celtics are the Milwaukee Bucks. But the Bucks are trying something a little different this year. Before this season, the Bucks hit 23s in a game just 4 times in franchise history. This year, they've done it in 5 games already. Done it in back-to-back games after doing it to Indiana on Monday. Giannis, again, 0 threes, just like he did the night before, but 9 other guys hit threes against the Pacers. The Clippers had a bounce-back win after a loss to the Nets, handling the Cavs easily. Not much of a story from this one, except I want to ask, when is Jared Allen going to get a starting gig? I know people are very excited about Andre Drummond's beef, getting all those rebounds, but the Cavs have to trade him, right? Jared Allen, yeah, I'll say it, he is still the most effective center on the Cavs roster. He's got to get a starting gig at some point. Paul George had 36 to lead all scorers in that one. Knicks, Bulls, second game of a baseball doubleheader. The Knicks and Tom Thibodeau were ready coming off a loss in the first half of this twin bill. They won the first quarter 34-17. Or should I say Tibbs won the first quarter 34-17. It felt like a Tibbs quarter. The defense was out there ready, stopping the cuts from Chicago. They had a great night defensively. Speaking of defense, Dallas Hawks. The Mavs just decided to get the ball out of Trae Young's hands in this one. Show him bodies, let others create. But it didn't necessarily work, even though Trae Young didn't score a lot until the last couple minutes when this game was sort of undecided. But they won the minutes with Trae Young on the floor, mainly because John Collins had 35 points. They were +4 when Trae was out there. But the bench couldn't do its part for the Atlanta Hawks. They lost Rajon Rondo's minutes by 9 points, and that was the difference. And the offseason signings that was supposed to fill out this roster haven't been able to show out quite yet. Bogdan Bogdanovic remains out. Chris Dunn is out. Danilo Gallinari, although he had a decent night, remains on a minutes restriction. He had played 20 minutes right to the max, but he had 19 points in those minutes. The Mavs were able to snap their 6-game losing streak because Kristaps Porzingis had a good one. This game was over midway through the 4th when Kristaps threw it down on Clint Capella. Monster jam. Luka Doncic added 27 points. Houston, OKC. Woof. This game was over quick. Another second game of a baseball doubleheader. OKC responded to being blown out by 30 by blowing out Houston themselves. You should know that TCU's Kenrich Williams led OKC with 19 points off the bench. I just wanted to say Kenrich. Last game, Wolves, Spurs. Tough loss for the Wolves. They were up 16 early in the 4th, but the Spurs fought back. Malik Beasley led the Wolves with 29 points. DeMar DeRozan had 30 for the Spurs. And Jakob Poeltl, Teenage Mutant Ninja Poeltl, had 19 points, 4 blocks on 9 of 10 shooting. You know, Sensei Splinter Popovich has done a good job coaching him up. And some good COVID testing news out of the NBA via The Athletic's Shams Charania. 0 NBA players tested positive for coronavirus out of the 482 players tested since January 27th. Adam Silver did say January was going to be difficult, but February was hopefully going to be different. So far, so okay here for the NBA. Although I am a little skeptical of their All-Star idea here in my city of Atlanta, which is scheduled to sort of happen in March. But I'll leave that one to the experts. I'm not an expert in COVID testing. I am an expert in giving you the news as fast as I possibly can. I will be back on Friday to do just that. Make sure you check out the full No Dunks episodes on Thursday and Friday. I'll see you tomorrow.